राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So now you can decide after me, Manhar and Nihal and Gopal, okay? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Namaskar.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Shairam Narottama.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Udirayet
Tato Jayam Idhiraye.
Nastaprayesu Abhadresu
Ashtaprayesha Vadesha Nityam.
Tyam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Tir Bhavati Naistiki
Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha.
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda Gopinakumaya.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindhaya Namo Namaha.
Very good. So now I will share the screen. We will continue our Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9. Okay, so Canto 1, we go to Chapter 9, Passing Away of Bhismadev. And we'll begin. We left some Rishi's description here, so we'll just recite very quickly this verse and then.
Is Parvata Nanda Damya? Can I read it?
Yeah, so just recite after me and then you can do it, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, Parvato Narado Dhaumyo
Parvata
Naradodamyo
Bhagavan Badarayana
Bhagavan Badarayanaha
Brihadasvo Bharadvajaha
Prahadaswa Paradvajaha
Tisyo Renukasutaha
Shashishya Renukashutaha
Vasistha Indra Pramadas
Vashishta Indra Pramadas
Trito Grutsmado Asitaha
Trito Krit Samado Ashitaha
Kakshivan Gautamo Atrischa
Kakshivan Gautamo Trischa
Kaushiko Atha Sudarshanaha.
Kaushikavata Sudarshanaha.
Okay, now you can start. Manhar, can you do it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
One by one, you have to chant every one of them.
Okay. Parvato Narado Dhomyo Bhagavan Badarayana Brahadvaso Bharadvajaha Sheshya Renuka Sutta Vashishta Indra Pramadas Trito Gratsmado Asita Kakshivan Gautamo Trischa Kokshiko Sudarshana.
Very good. Gopal, Govinda, you want to do it next?
Yes. Parvato Domyo Bhagavan Badarayaha Brother Rajaha Sahasarenaka Sutaha Vasista Indra Pramadas Tritagristas Madho Asita Kashrivan Gautam Atris Cha Kasoko Ata Sudarshanaha.
Okay, Nihal. Nihal, are you there? Nihal. Can you unmute yourself, Nihal? Okay. Who else join? Anybody join new after this three?
Prabhu, me and Rishabh joined.
Oh, okay. Okay, Pratyush, go ahead.
Okay. Parvato Narada Dhomyo Bhagavan Badarayanaha Brahadasva Bharadwaja Shashiyo Renuka Sutaha Vashishta Indra Pramadas Tritogrit Samado Asitaha Kakshivan Gautamo Trischa Kaushiko Atasudarshanaha.
Very good. Rishabh.
Sorry, I think Rishabh's still trying to connect or something.
Oh, okay. Who is this?
Mihika.
Okay, Mihika, go ahead till he logged in. Go ahead.
Parvato Narado Daumyo Bhagavan Badarayanaha Rahadvarsho Bharadwaja Sashishyo Renukasutaha Vashishta Indra Pramadas Gritsamado Stitaha Kakshivan Gautamau Atrischa Kausiko Atha Sudarshanaha.
Very good. Rishabh, are you ready now? Very nice. Jyotsna not joined today?
Prabhu, he's ready.
Okay, Rishabh, go ahead.
Parvato Narado Dhomyo Bhagavan Badarayanaha Radashvo Bharadwajaha Shaishishyo Renuka Sutaha Vashishta Indra Pramadas Tritograt Asitaha Kakshivan Gautama Atrischa Kaushika Athasudarshanaha.
Very nice. Anybody else that joined later? Okay, so we have read some. Okay, let's read the translation. So I want Rishabh.
Go in the read.
Okay, Govinda, go ahead, read this.
All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narada, Dharmya, Vyasa, and incarnation of God, Bharadwaja, Parshuram, our disciple Visita, Vasista, Indrapamta, Dhruta, Grasamada, Asita, Kakshivan, Gautam, Atri, Kaushika, and Sudarshana were present.
Very good. So these are the Rusis. They came at the site where Bhisma Pitama was lying down on the bed of arrow. So we have read last time some of them up to 3. Now from here, today we will read from this Rusi's name here, okay? So let me forward and we will begin from that. Okay. Krutsman. Okay, so let me see who would like to read that. Manhar, can you read it? This paragraph, Grutsmut, about Grutsmut.
Yes, Grut,
Go ahead.
one of the sages of the heavenly kingdom. He was a close friend of Indra, the king of heaven, and was as great as Brahaspati. He used to visit the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he also visited a place where Bhishma Dev breathed his last. Sometimes he explained the glories of Lord Shiva before Maharaj Yudhishthira. He was the son of Vitavya, and he resembled in features the body of Indra. Sometimes the enemies of Indra mistook him for Indra and arrested him. He was a great scholar of the Rig Veda, and thus he was highly respected by the Brahmana community. He lived a life of celibacy and was powerful in every respect.
Very good, Manhar. So can you tell at least 1 or 2 things about him from what you have read here? You can repeat the same sentence if you like, but if you remember what you have read, just tell me 2 things about that Rusi, Grutsmut.
He was a close friend of Lord Indra, and he was as great as Brahaspati.
Very good. Okay. So anybody who have listened this thing, let me say, Rusab, would you like to say something about Grutsmud Rusi from whatever you have listened while Manhar was reading?
Rishabh?
Or you can read the 2 sentences from the paragraph.
Okay, Prabhu. One of the sages of the heavenly Gritsmata was one of the sages of the heavenly kingdom, and he was a close friend of Indra, the king of heaven, and was a great as
Brahaspati. You know who is Brahaspati?
Mm.
Okay. He is the priest of demigod, Brahaspati. And Uddhava.
Gurudev is the Gurudev of the demigods? Is Gurudev that Brahaspati is Gurudev of demigods?
Yes. Yeah. And also Brahaspati, Uddhav, you know, name of Uddhav, who is a friend and cousin of Krishna, he went to heavenly planet to learn from Brahaspati. So he's so famous. Okay. Pratyush, can you tell me 2 things about this Rusi?
He was the son of Vitahavya, and he was a great scholar of the Rig Veda.
Okay, very good. Nihal, would you like to say something about Grutsmart? You all have to be attentive when somebody is also reading, you know.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, Nihal, can you say at least one thing about this Rusi Grutsmat from this paragraph?
He was a close friend of Indra.
Very good. He was also, it is said here, he resembled in feature the body of Indra. And sometimes the enemies of Indra mistook him to be Indra and arrested him. How funny it is, huh?
Yeah,
Look
can I say something also, Govinda?
Yes, Govinda, go ahead.
Prabhuji, can I say something?
Yeah, after Govinda. Govinda, please go ahead.
Oh, Grita's mother also respect the Brahmanas community, and he lived a life as celibacy and way made powerful in every respect.
Very good. Okay. So, Mehika, can you summarize what's in the paragraph?
Okay, Prabhuji. So basically, it's describing about Grihat Samada, and the paragraph that Srila Prabhupada wrote, Prabhupada describes like whose son he was and what his relationship with Indra was, and that he was a great scholar of Rig Veda, and he was one of the sages of the heavenly kingdom, and also compared as great as Brahaspati, who was the guru of Indra.
Yes.
He also then over here, basically in this paragraph, it describes that Grahat Samada, he went to the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira, and he also visited the place where Shri Bhishma Dev, like when he was on his bed of arrows, when he breathed last and he went back to his to the heavenly planet, I think.
No, he went to the spiritual abode.
Sorry, the spiritual world. Yes, the spiritual world.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anybody else there who joined lately? Okay, so now we'll move forward. Another Rishi is Asita. There is a small description of Asita. I would practice to read it.
Okay, bro. Asita. There was a king of the same name, but herein the Asita mentioned is the Asita Devala Rishi, a great powerful sage of the time. He explained to his father 1,500,000 years 500,000 verses from the Mahabharata. He was one of the members in the snake sacrifice of Maharaj Janamejaya. He was also present during the coronation ceremony of Maharaj Yudhishthir, along with other great rishis. He also gave Maharaj Yudhishthir instructions while he was on the Anjana hill. He was also one of the devotees of Lord Shiva.
Very good. So this Asita, anybody remember it is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita also. This name of the Rusi is stated.
What chapter is it?
Yeah, the Arjuna in 10th chapter.
Prabhuji, I think it was in the 10th chapter.
Yeah, Asito Devalo Vyasa. Remember that thing? Because after Krishna recited these 4 seed verses 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, Arjuna is saying to Lord Krishna, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusam Saswatam Devyam, Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. So he accepted Krishna as a personality of Godhead. But then he says that not only me, Ahuhu means say, Ahu Stvarusaya Sarve Devarsi Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Cha Eva Bravisime. Asita Deval is mentioned there. Okay, so let me say, Nihal, what can you say something about Asit Rusi?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
He explained to his father 1,500,000 verses from Mahabharata, and he was one of the members in this next sacrifice of Maharaja
Janmejai. Yeah, Janmejai was son of Maharaj Parikshit. And because Maharaj Parikshit was cursed that he would die with Taksak snake. So he was, when he, after Parikshit, when Janmejai became a king, he decided to kill the dynasty of snake. So they have a Sarpa Yagna. Sarpa is in Hindi is a snake. So in that, he was doing that thing, sacrifice at that time. Okay, let's say anybody else would like to say.
The magic desktop, but none of the center's magic text was coming out. We had to fix the desktop. Board said, our last three tries same place.
Prabhuji, can I say
Look,
something?
maybe okay.
Yeah.
Instruments,
Please, if there is a side noise, please mute yourself. From wherever the noise is coming, please mute yourself.
So Prabhuji, so I found a verse, and the verse is 10.12 to 13.
Yeah, very good. Very good, Manhar. Nice. Okay. So let's see. Anybody else wants to say something about Asitarusi? One more person and then we'll move forward. Manhar already said something, right? Okay.
He was one of the members in the snake sacrifice of Maharaj Janamejaya,
Mm-hmm.
and he was also in the coronation of Maharaj Yudhishthir.
Yudhishthir ceremony. Yes. Okay. When he became a king. Very good. Okay.
Can I say something also?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ashita also is the devotee of Lord Shiva.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And what is Asita? Like I forgot the thing. Asita and Maharaj Yudhishthir was on the Anjana hill. While he was on, he explained. He put Yudhishthir into instructions. He gave instruction to Yudhishthir.
Okay. Very good. All right. Next, move to the next one. Next one is very short. Kakshivan. I want Nihal to read it. Nihal, can you read Kakshivan? It's 2 lines about Kakshivan. Nihal, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read it, beta?
Yes. One of the sons of Gautama Muni and the father of great sage Chandrakaushika, he was one of the members. He was one of the members of Parliament of Maharaj Yudhishthir.
Very good. So that is Kakshivan. Only 2 sentences are given there. Okay. Who was his father?
Gautam Muni.
Gautam Muni. Okay.
And he was the father of great sage Chandrakaushika.
Okay, so that was his son was Chandrakaushi. Very good. And he was one of the member of parliament of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Okay. So now we're gonna read about Atri Rusi.
Prabhuji, can I read about Atri?
Okay, Mihika, go ahead. Atri Rusi.
Atri.
Okay, everybody else also please be attentive and listen carefully so you can also answer it, Go ahead.
Atri. Atri Muni was a great Brahmana sage and was one of the mental sons of Brahmaji. Brahmaji is so powerful that simply by thinking of a son, he can have it. These sons are known as Manasa Putras. One of 7 Manasa Putras of Brahmaji, and out of the 7 great Brahmana sages, Atri was one. In his family, the great Prachetas were also born. Atri Muni had two Kshatriya sons who became kings. King Arthama is one of them. He is counted as one of the 21 Prajapatis. His wife name was Anusuya and he helped Maharaj Parikshit in his great sacrifices.
Yeah, very good. So Atri Muni is also very famous in a way that from the beginning of the creation, Lord Brahma was creating just by thinking about, just like as this Manasa Putra, means he using his mind, to create a son. So the Atri is one of them. There are so many sages that Lord Brahma created in the beginning of this creation. And also from Atri, who is the wife of Atri?
Anasuya.
Ansuya. So Atri and Ansuya, from that stage, it is called that they are the Moon Dynasty. They are from the Moon Dynasty, and later on in the same dynasty, Lord Krishna made an appearance. Okay, if you go from Atri and Suya, and then there are so many hierarchy that is given in the ninth canto. In the back of the ninth canto, if you see, the whole thing is given there.
Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Why is why is it like classified as Sun Dynasty and Moon Dynasty?
Yeah, that is from the beginning, because that is where all populations came. So Atri and Ansuya belongs to Sun Dynasty, and Marichi and Kala, they belongs to Sun Dynasty, in which Lord Ramchandra came. Okay. And Kala and Ansuya,
You said Atri Muni and Anasuya was in Sun Dynasty.
yeah, and the Kala and Ansuya, they are the daughter of Devhuti and Kardama Muni. That is in the third canto.
Prabhuji, Atri Muni is from Moon Dynasty or Sun Dynasty?
Atri Muni is from Moon Dynasty.
Okay.
Sun Dynasty is Marichi and Kala. Kala is wife. Okay, and in that Sun Dynasty, Ramchandra came. In Moon Dynasty, Lord Krishna came. Okay. Okay. Anybody would like to say anything about Atri Muni?
Can I say Govinda?
Okay, Govinda, go ahead. And then I will
was
ask.
a great Brahmana sage.
Okay.
And Atri Muni also, he has Brahmaji has 7 great Brahmana sages.
Okay. Very good. Manhar, you have raised the hand. Would you like to say something about Atri?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Atri Muni is from the Moon Dynasty.
Probably, can you say Manhar to speak a little louder?
Yeah, Manhar, can you speak a little louder, beta?
Okay, so Atri Muni is from the Moon Dynasty, and Atri Muni was Atri Muni. Okay, so Atri Muni is wait, is it talking about like Atri Muni where it says King Atrama is one of them? He's captain where it says Maharaj and he helped Maharaj Parikshit in his sacrifices. Are they talking about Atri Muni?
Yeah, Atri Muni, as it is said here, Atri Muni was in his family. He was a Manas Putra of Brahmaji.
Prabhuji, the questionnaire said he is counted as one of the 21 Prajapatis. Is that for King Arthama or Atri Muni?
No, he is counted as one of the 21 Prajapati is Atri.
Okay. So that was the question. So.
Okay, all right. Rusab, I will ask Rusab, and then Rusab, can you tell something about Atri Muni from this paragraph?
Yes, Prabhu. Atri Muni, he was Out of 7 Manasaputras of Brahmaji, and out of the 7 great Brahma sages, Atyashi was one of them.
Okay. All right. Mihika, would you like to say something about Atri Muni?
Yes, Prabhuji. Atri Muni had 2 Kshatriya sons who became kings in the future, and one of them is King Arthama, and he's also counted as one of the 21 Prajapatis.
Very good. Okay. So let's move further. We read about Kaushik. Kaushik. Okay, Govinda, go ahead.
Kaushik, one of the prominent
Rusi
members in the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira. He sometime met Lord Krishna. There are several other Rishi sages of
same
the
name.
same name.
Very good. Okay. So we'll go to the last one, and I would like Pratyush to read this paragraph.
Big paragraph.
Pratyush, are you there? Yeah. Sudarshan.
Sudarshana. This wheel, which is accepted by the personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, as his personal weapon, is the most powerful weapon, greater than the Brahmastras or similar other disastrous weapons. In some of the Vedic literatures, it is said that Agni Dev, the fire god, presented this weapon to Lord Shri Krishna. But factually, this weapon is eternally carried by the Lord. Agni Dev presented this weapon to Krishna in the same way that Rukmini was given by Maharaj Rukma to the Lord. The Lord accepts such presentations from his devotees. Even though such presentations are eternally his property, there is an elaborate description of this weapon in the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata. Lord Shri Krishna used this weapon to kill Shishupal, a rival of the Lord. He also killed Salva by this weapon, and sometimes he wanted his friend Arjuna to use it to kill his enemies. Mahabharata, Virata Parva 56.3.
Very good. So let's say, Manhar, would you like to say something? Each one has to say 2 things about the Sudarshan Chakra.
Okay, so this, like, Agni Dev, when Krishna came to this world in Dwapar, you guys, kind of out of information, like Agni Dev gave him the weapon, but he eternally has the weapon, and he used it to kill Shishupal and Shobha by his weapon. And Prabhuji, can I say one more thing? I want to say one more thing.
Okay. Nihal, would you like to say something? Nihal.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Wheel, which is accepted by the personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, as his personal weapon, is the most powerful weapon, greater than the Brahmanas or similar other disastrous weapons. In some of the Vedic literatures, it is said that Agni Deva, the fire god, presented this weapon to Lord Sri Krishna. But actually, this weapon is eternally carried by the Lord. Agni Deva, this weapon. Yes?
Yeah. Agni Dev presented this weapon to Krishna in the same way that Rukmini was given by Maharaj Rukma. So, okay, so that is the ancient history there. Okay, next is Gopal. Would you like to say 2 things about Sudarshan?
Yeah, he also, Krishna said to Arjuna, he said, you could use my Sudarshana to kill your enemies.
Okay. All right. Rusab, next.
Lord Sri Krishna, like he used these weapons, the Sudarshana Chakra, to kill Shishupal, rival of the Lord, and he also killed Salva by this weapon.
Okay, very good. Lord Krishna, we learned in the previous chapter, I don't know whether you all are there or not, Lord Krishna used that weapon to save somebody. Anybody remember? In the last chapter we did that.
Parikshit.
When baby Parikshit.
Parikshit in the womb of his mother. Okay, very good.
And the 5 Pandavas.
5 Pandavas. Okay.
From the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama.
Because Ashwatthama did not know how to bring it back, so he said to Arjuna because he was attaching to the Pandavas, he said to attack your Brahmastra, then bring both of yours back, and also and Krishna protected Parikshit with his Sudarshan Chakra.
Yeah, so that is Arjuna's Brahmastra. They retracted Ashwatthama, but the Sudarshan Chakra he used to save Parikshit Maharaj, while and also to save all Pandavas, like Mihika mentioned. Okay, so Mihika, would you like to wrap it up about Sudarshan, whatever you know of from this paragraph?
Okay, Prabhuji. So Sudarshan Chakra is the eternal and most powerful weapon of Sri Krishna, and that he carries on his finger. And Agnidev presented it to Lord Krishna, but actually Krishna had had it with him. So basically, it's only like in some Vedic literatures, it states that Agnideva gave the Sudarshan Chakra to Lord Krishna, but Lord Krishna already had it. And they compared it to Rukmini being given by Maharaj Rukma and Agnidev giving the weapon to Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says that Lord Krishna accepts these from his devotees, even though he doesn't have a need of it, because everything is eternally his property. And then they gave that in Adi Parva of Mahabharat, there's a very big elaborate description of the Sudarshan Chakra.
Mm-hmm.
And they also say that Lord Sri Krishna used the weapon to kill Shishupal and Salva, and he always also wanted Arjuna to also take it and use it for his enemies.
Very good. Thank you, Mihika. So now we'll move to the next verse, number 8. And you recite after me, and then you can also recite. Anye chamunayo brahman.
Anye chamunayo brahman.
Brahmaratpradayo malaha.
Brahmaratpradayo malaha.
Shishyer upita ajagmuhu.
Shishyer upeta ajagmuhu.
Kasya pangirasadayah. Okay, one more time. Anye chamunayo brahman. Brahmaratpradayo malaha. Shishirupeta jagmuhu. Asya pangirasadayah. Okay. Mihika, you want to recite, then everybody should follow after that one by one. Everybody should read it. Okay. Go ahead.
Anye cha munayo brahman brahmaratadayo amalaha shishye rupeta ajagmuhu kasya pangira sadayah.
Very good. Who is next? Manhar, go ahead.
Okay, Prabhuji. Anye chamana ye brahman brahmaratayo amalaha shishyer upeta ajagmu kashe pangira sadayah.
Very good. Anybody would like to do next? Okay, Pratyush.
Anye chamunayo brahman. Brahmaratadayo malaha shishya rupeta ajagmui Kashyapangirasadayah.
Very nice. Rishabh?
Can Govinda read next?
Yeah, after Rishabh.
No, Brahman.
Anyachamunayo Brahman Brahmaratatayo Amalaha Shishyar Upeta Agamu Kashyapangirasadayah.
Very good. Govinda?
Okay. Anyacha manyo Brahman. Brahma artayado amalaha. Shese apte ajamaha. Shes apyagid. Shes apanid. Sasadaha.
Okay. Nihal? Are you there? Nihal?
Anyacha munayo Brahman Brahma marito malaha Sisyar upadeva ajamunaha Karpanya jisa sadya.
Kashyapangirasadaya. Okay. Very good. Anybody left? Everybody got turned there, right? Okay. So who gonna read the synonyms? Just raise your hand.
Govinda.
Govinda, okay, go ahead.
Anya, many others. Cha, also. Manuha, sages.
Munayah.
Munaha, sages. Brahman, O Brahman. Brahma Matra.
No. Brahmaratra.
Brahmaratra, Sukadev Goswami.
So there's another name of Sukadev Goswami is Brahmaratra. And another name of Parikshit Maharaj is Vishnu Rata. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Parikshit is
Adhyaha.
Vishnu Rata and Brahmarat is Sukadev Goswami. Okay, next.
Adaha.
Adayah.
Adhyah.
Adayah. Adayah.
And such others. Amalaha, complete profit.
Purified.
Sisyaha, by the disciple. Aptaha,
Upetaha.
Upetaha, accompanied.
Okay.
Ajaguma,
Ajagmuhu.
Ajagumu, arrived. Kasya apa, Kashyap, Angirasa, Adayaha, other.
Okay. So there are some more names of the Rusis. Okay. Rusab, can you read the translation? Rusab?
Yes, Prabhu. And many others like Sukadev Goswami and other purified souls, Kashyapa and
Angiras. Angiras.
Angiras and others, all accompanied by their respected disciples, arrived there.
Okay. Very good. Now, who can read this purport? Okay, there's two paragraphs. We can have, it could be many paragraphs here. So let's say first paragraph, who can begin?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Okay, Mihika, go ahead. So
Sukadev,
everybody listen carefully, okay? Everyone.
Sukadeva Goswami, Brahmarata, the famous son and disciple of Sri Vyasadeva, who taught him first the Mahabharata and then Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami recited 1,400,000 verses of the Mahabharata in the councils of the Gandharvas, Yakshas, and Rakshasas, and he recited Srimad Bhagavatam for the first time in the presence of Maharaj Parikshit. He thoroughly studied all the Vedic literatures from his great father. Thus, he was a completely purified soul by dint of his extensive knowledge in the principles of religion. From Mahabharata, Sabhapara, 4.11, it is understood that he is also present in the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira and at the fasting of Maharaj Parikshit. As a bona fide disciple of Sri Vyasadeva, he inquired from his father very extensively about religious principles and spiritual values, and his great father also satisfied him by teaching him the yoga system and which one can attain the spiritual kingdom, the difference between fruitive work and empiric knowledge, the ways of means of attaining spiritual realization, the four ashramas, namely the student life, the householder life, the retired life, and the renounced life, the sublime position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the process of seeing Him face to face, the bona fide candidate for receiving knowledge, the consideration of the five elements, the unique position of intelligence, the consciousness of the material nature and the living entity, the symptoms of the self-realized soul, the working principles of the material body, the symptoms of the influential modes of nature, the tree of the perpetual desire, and fear.
Psychic.
Psychic activities. Sometimes he went to the sun planet with the permission of his father and Naradji. Descriptions of his travel in space are given in the Santi Parva of the Mahabharata 332. At last he attained the transcendental realm. He is known by different names like Aranya, Aruni Sutta, Vyasaki, and Vyasatmaja.
Yeah, Vyas Atmaja. Atmaja means he's born from Vyas. So that's why Vyasat, son of Vyas. Vyas Atmaja means. Okay, so can you summarize, Mihika, whatever you have read?
So, Prabhuji, in this paragraph describing about Shukadev Goswami, they describe that he is the famous son and disciple of Sri Vyasadev, and he was the one who recited 1,400,000 verses of the Mahabharata in the assembly of the Gandharvas, Yakshas, and Rakshasas. And he also recited the Srimad Bhagavatam for the very first time to the 14,000 sages, or 14,000 sages, 14,000 sages and Maharaj Parikshit. He was a completely purified soul, and he also was present at the royal assembly of Maharaj Yudhishthira and also at the time of the 7 days fasting of Maharaj Parikshit. He inquired from Vyasadev, his father, about so many topics which are described here, realizing like the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who we actually are, the living entity, the symptoms, etc. And he also he also had a travel in space by the permission of Vyasadev and Naradji. The description of that is in the Santi Parva of Mahabharata. And at last he finally attained the transcendental realm, and he also has different names: Arena, Aruni Sutta, Vyasaki, and Vyasatmaja.
Okay, now I'll ask each one of you. They have to tell one thing about Sukdev Goswami from this paragraph, whatever they have heard, whatever they remember. Okay, Govinda, go ahead. One by one, everybody has to say one thing at least.
Also, Sukadev learned from Vyasadev. First, what he learned was Mahabharata, then the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadev also recited what is the number of verses he read?
Yeah, it's
1,400,000.
That's a
1,400,000
verses of Mahabharata.
Of Mahabharata.
Okay. All right. Next, Manhar. Manhar, just tell me one thing about it that you like it about Sukhdev Goswami. Manhar.
Okay, one thing I like Vyasadeva got him a Mahabharata first and he learned Srimad Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva and Swami divided 1,400,000 of the Mahabharata like in front of the Gandharvas, Yakshas and Rakshasas.
Okay, very good. Nihal, would you like to say one thing about Sukhdev Goswami? Nihal?
Yes, so Sukadev Goswami was the son and disciple of Sri Vyasdeva, and he was the successor who passed down the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, very good. Pratyus?
Sukadeva Goswami had told Maharaj Parikshit the whole Bhagavatam just in 7 days, and also to the Naimisharanya sages also.
Yeah, Naimisharanya sages is Sutta Goswami told that. Sukadeva Goswami only spoke to Parikshit Maharaj and some sages there.
Yeah.
All right, Rishabh?
Sukadeva Goswami, he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was the parent of Radharani.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was parrot of Radharani. Good, very nice. But he did not write it. He learned. He learned from his fathers. Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So next paragraph is about Kashyap Rusi, and I would Pratyus to read it. Pratyus, Kashyap Rusi, about Kashyap Rusi.
Okay, Prabhu. Kashyapa, one of the Prajapatis, the son of Marichi, and one of the son-in-laws of Prajapati Daksha. He is the father of the gigantic bird Garuda, who was given elephants and tortoises as eatables. He married 13 daughters of Prajapati Daksha, and their names are Aditi, Diti, Danu, Kashta, Arishta, Surasa, Ila, Muni, Krodavasa, Tamra, Surabhi, Sarama, and Timi. He begot many children, both demigods and demons, by those wives. From his first wife, Aditi, all the 12 Adityas were born. One of them is Vamana, the incarnation of Godhead. This great sage Kashyapa was also present at the time of Arjuna's birth. He received a presentation of the whole world from Parshuram, and later on he asked Parshuram to go out of the world. His other name is Arishtanemi. He lives on the northern side of the universe.
Very good. Okay, so can you summarize, Pratyus, what you have read?
So Kashyapa is one of the Prajapatis, and he had a son, Marichi, and his son-in-law was Daksha.
No, Kashyap is son of Marichi.
Yeah.
Marichi and Kala, yeah.
And then he was also the father of Garuda.
Mm-hmm.
And he married 13 daughters.
Right. So he said he's father of Garuda. So who is the mother of Garuda? Means wife of Kashyap Muni. What is the name of, because he had many wives. So Garuda is one of, so who is Garuda's mother? Anybody remember? Vinita.
Oh, Vinita.
Vinita. Okay. All right. Let's say, who'd like to say two things about Kashyap Muni? Anybody else?
Govinda.
Govinda? Okay, Govinda, go ahead.
Kapshita was one of the Prajapatis.
Okay.
And the son-in-law of Prajapati Daksha.
Okay.
He is the father of the giant bird Garuda, and Garuda got 13 daughters of Prajapati Daksha.
30, who got Garuda? No.
Garuda got 13.
Kasyapa married to 13 daughters of Prajapati.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see. We go to the last paragraph, and I would Rusab to read the last paragraph. Rusab about Angiras.
Prabhu, Rishabh isn't here. He
Okay.
went somewhere. I don't know.
Okay. So let's see who else is available here. Manhar. Manhar.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you read this paragraph regarding Angiras?
Okay. Angiras. He is the son of Maharishi Angira and is known as Brahaspati, the priest of the demigod. It is said that Dronacharya was his partial incarnation. Sukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons, and Brahaspati challenged him. His son is Kacha. Okay.
Manhar, can you read little louder, please?
Okay. His son is Kacha, and he delivered the fire weapon first to Bharadwaja Muni. He begot 6 sons like the fire god by his wife
Chandramasi.
Chandrabasi, one of the reputed stars. He could travel in space, and therefore he could present himself even in the planets of Brahmaloka and Indraloka. He advised the king of heaven, Indra, about conquering the demons. Once he cursed Indra, who thus had to become a hog on the earth and was unwilling to return to heaven. Such is the power of the attraction of the illusory energy. Even a hog doesn't wish to part with its earthly possessions in exchange for a heavenly kingdom. He was a religious preceptor of the natives of different planets.
Very good. Okay, so Mika, can you summarize what's for the Angiras here so we can wrap it up?
Over to me.
Yeah.
So, in this paragraph of Angiras Muni, it describes that he is the son of Maharishi Angira, and his other name is Brahaspati, who is the priest of the demigods or the guru. He is said that he is Dronacharya's partial incarnation, and also Shukracharya is a spiritual master of the demons, and Brahaspati or Maharshi Angira, he had challenged Sukracharya. Angirasa Muni's son is Kacha, and he was delivered by the fire weapon, which was first given to Bharadwaja Muni. He got 6 sons from his wife Chandramasi, who was one of the reputed stars, and he could also he also had the permission to travel in space, so he could go in Brahmaloka, Indraloka, or wherever he wanted. Once he advised King Indra to conquer the demons, and he cursed Indra to become a hog on earth and unwillingly return to the heaven. But by this illusionary Maya, by her powers, even a hog likes the earthly possession so much that he does not wish to take part of the heavenly kingdom. Last but not the least, he was a religious preceptor of the natives of the different planets.
Very good. Okay, so we'll end the class here. We all see you next Tuesday, and we'll move forward. And it is very interesting, this chapter. So I believe if you join in time, we can all relish this Bhisma Pitama's passing away that we're going to learn later on. Bhisma Pita's Stuti is very nice. So please encourage your friends also to join if they would like to understand, whatever little slokas, some meaning, will be nice. Okay, Hare Krishna to everyone. Thank you.
Hare